All right. Well, let's make sure this microphone is close enough to me. Hello, and welcome to the auspicious 24th episode on the first day of 2024. Happy New Year to all of y'all fellow ramblers. It's been 24 episodes so far, so we hope to keep these rolling. This evening may be a little shorter than normal, but thought it would be a good time to get on and sign in and see what y'all are up to, and wish you a happy new year on the first day of a very auspicious month for the god Janus, the month of January. So the beginning and end of the year, named after none other than Janus. So thought it'd be worth hopping on for a little bit here and saying hello. My name is Richard Worsham, founder here at Janus Motorcycles, and I ride Halcyon 250 number 68 very regularly, and I am sipping on a little bit of whiskey here. Cheers to a new year to all of y'all. Let's take a look at quickly take a look at some comments here. We got NW Metalbug, lots of familiar names to see everybody on here. Halcyon 250 number 164 in Oregon, drinking a latte. Nicholas Gee, Griffin number 200 on order. Southeastern Connecticut, black coffee, fantastic. Pete Marino 450 Halcyon number 156, Radcliffe, Kentucky water. Kentucky water, nice. Eric Green, Outlaw 859, Vancouver, Washington, Mocha. Eric's motorcycle is a perennial favorite with us. Dan Rademski, hi from Western North Carolina. 450 number 235, I hope. Yes, you will be getting it. Bob Benstead, Sturgis, South Dakota, just waiting for Halcyon 450 number 230, drinking a Pepsi. Good to see you all. Tom Lathrop, Happy New Year. Halcyon 250 number 1008, black cherry seltzer water. Confed Yank, howdy y'all. Please don't forget to hit like so more will see this. Great, thank you, Confed Yank. Yes, that's right. Hit the like button if you don't already subscribe to Janus Motorcycles, which I'm probably sure most of you do at this point, but it will remind you when we have new videos up or if I schedule an upcoming Ramblestream. We got, let's see, Shaba Bear. Bill in Maryland. No Janus bike yet. Have 9 bikes currently, though. Kool-Aid. Nice. Fantastic. Well, welcome. If you have any questions at all about a Janus motorcycle or adding another motorcycle to your fleet, the fellow ramblers on here will have no trouble giving you some tips there. Good to see you. Scott Spence, good to see you, Scott, right up the road from Elkhart, Indiana, Halcyon 250 number 212 and Halcyon 450 number 178. Sirius Blatt, fantastic, good to see you. Happy New Year, Richard. Halcyon number to be assigned, north of England, pint of water. Mark McGee, Halcyon 250 number 997, Anacortes, Washington, drinking a Lagunitas, nice. Jack Coleman, Janus 1, sorry, now of course my little thing is scrabbling here. 1037 on order, Northern Georgia, drinkless. That's all right. Ron, Happy New Year from Florida, future Halcyon 250 owner, iced tea tonight. Good, welcome and good to see you all. Straw Dog, another familiar face, Happy New Year from New Hampshire, Seacoast. Halcyon 250 number 769. Charles McGahagan, howdy from the Eastern Shore. 250 Halcyon number 454. Racing the Sun, ahoy. Felix Brothers, Halcyon 450 number 120 and 121 Western Michigan. Good to see you both. Joe HNY. I don't know what that stands for. Confed Yang, good evening from middle of North Carolina, currently just a Harley Davidson, hoping to fix that. Happy New Year all. Dan says January. Yes, exactly. Roger Yunt, rural Sturgis, waiting for JM 1018, having a cool 7-Up. Very good, sir. Confed Yank says, 'tis in fact January. Yes. Gary Smith. Hello from East Lansing. Gary, Halcyon 250 number 79, Halcyon 450 number 3, and Phoenix 250 number 79. Mark Herschel, Halcyon 450 number 232 arrives January 14th. Very good. You all will all be getting, if you're waiting on a bike right now, you'll be getting updates. We are orchestrating a major big shipment. Be sure to don't panic. They're all assembling and heading out soon. Let's see. My little thread here is all over the place. Let's see. Jeff Massey. Hey, Janice. Happy New Year. 850. Kelly Chrisman. Happy New Year. Fellow Ramblers. Halcyon 450 number 236 from Virginia. Carl Mann. Good evening. 450 number 39. Hey, good to see you, Carl. Great to see you on here. Joe, 1849. Dan Rademski, thumbs up. Sal says 450 number 113. Happy New Year. And Jeff says Happy New Year, Richard. Happy New Year to you as well, Jeff. It's great to see. This is really nice to be able to hop on here and say hello to all y'all. I'm glad we have this. Brent says, Maumee, Ohio, Griffin number 145 pending. I hear some really interesting things about that Griffin, Brent. I've heard some exciting rumors. Puff the Dragon, not an owner yet, just tuning in to say hi. Well, it's good to see you. Welcome, and feel free to post up any questions you have about Janus, Janus ownership, or whatever else. We're just hanging out here for a little bit. Dave Daniels says, JM 186, beautiful motorcycle. Please develop the fishtail exhaust. By that, I take it that you mean it's a 450, which you're in good news. We are in very close to wrapping up the fishtails. They're actually probably almost done. All we're waiting on now is the fabrication shop to figure out the tooling for the smoosh. It's a slightly different smoosh than we do on the 250 fishtail. Basically, it looks like a big cone, and then it's flattened. And it's really important, at least in my opinion, to have the two sides be absolutely parallel. When we first started making them, they kind of bowed a little bit, and it just didn't look right. So we're working on making sure that the tooling is done, and they're all designed and ready to go. So clearance has been worked out because on the Halcyon 450, as you all probably know, the ground clearance is a lot less, and since it has this suspension at the back, the fishtails have to kick up rather than kind of going up and down like they do on the 250. So that's coming along well. We're going to have tons of upgrades and options coming out soon here. Well, there already are. Let's see. Jeff says, I'm drinking a 15-year single malt, Dalwhinnie. Nice. Tom Kimball, Halcyon number 192, rode today in Colorado. 2024 off to a good start. That's very good. Congratulations and Happy New Year. Keith Haywood, number 706 in New York. Good to see you, Keith. Ken Plums, Doug Bryan, I am in Defiance. You will love your Janus. Great. Peter T. Spock. Pete says, Halcyon 250 number 982, drinking Sam Adams' old Fizzywig. I will be installing the Stage 3 Motocult this winter. Fantastic. Joe, 1849, HNY, Happy New Year. Oh, there you go. Happy New Year. Tom Kimball says, sipping on a Guinness. Very good. Ken from Defiance, Halcyon 450 DD214. I remember seeing that come through. Ken Plum's like the military paperwork. Lol. Indeed, my retirement gift. Fantastic. Well done. Ken says that she's satin olive drab green. That's right. Let's see if I can get this thing to scroll. Come on. I want to see the rest of the comments. There we go. Ken Plum says rear seats for Halcyon 450. Yes, they are actually in. We have the Sargent foam. The first couple of sets are in for the pillion seat. The first set, black and brown upholstery, came in from Eric Scott. We installed the prototype. We discovered that we needed more wrap around, and we edited the design a little bit so that the riveting process is easier and will last longer. And we're just waiting on those to come in, and at which point we will be launching them. And I think we'll do probably, if we haven't already, start taking pre-orders for y'all. They're very close. Yes. Let's see. Rear seats for Halcyon. Yeah, we got that. Jack says, Ken, I assume DD214 will replace your bike number. Great idea. Yeah, it did. She is actually number 90. Great. Grant Longenbaugh, Griffin001 from Goshen. Good to see you, Grant. Carl says, rode 100 plus miles today in a polar bear ride with another owner today. Fantastic. That is what I like to hear. That's a ramble right there. Lauren Levy, Halcyon 250 number 804, sipping chocolate. Wonderful. Welcome, Lauren. Tux Hadler, not currently a Janus owner, but I'm excited to learn more about the Halcyon 450. Well, Tux, post up your questions if you have any, or just listen and see what we talk about here. Jack says, Ken, my Halcyon 250 will also be satin olive drab. Good choice. Nice sweatshirt rocking the same. Grant says he's rocking the Duluth pack. Duluth, Minnesota. Yeah. Joe says, Joe 1849 says sidecar. Yeah, we are partnered with Texas Sidecar, and I think they should be very close to either having this first prototype done or very very soon. And we'll be sure to share pictures of that. We do not build sidecars ourselves, but we have partnered with Texas Sidecar, and we've kind of worked our way through a number of different sidecar manufacturers. Well, not a number. How do I say this? We worked with some in the past, and this is really the shop that we think is the best option for your sidecar needs. I have a long history. They're very reliable, and they know how to make a sidecar that works well with the Janus bikes, and they're partnered with us. They will install our wheel, our fender, all that jazz, and the sidecar looks appropriate for the Janus aesthetic. Sal says, any work on 450 center stand? That one is a little bit on hold. I know I keep saying we pushing that one ahead, but we were trying to pump out some more of these seat and fishtail and other options. But yes, I have actually been poking at that in the last week or two, trying to figure out how to make it work. As I've explained before, it's quite a tricky thing to make it work. But my hope is that we'll have it out this spring. Silver Bullet. Ike Beasley in Leavenworth, Indiana. Took first ride of the year today. 36 degrees. Waiting on the new windshield. How far out? Wonderful. The windshield. Good question. Right now, the update on that is that the whole bracket system is on order. It should be here in the next week or two from our fabrication shop. And then we're going to hand cut the windshield out of a scrap of Lexan that our supplier gave us. And we're going to see if having it be bent by the support is enough to hold it and make it look good, or if we're going to have to thermally form it so that it's preformed with a curve. And we're just working through the details, but I would say very soon. I mean, if we have to go with a thermally molded one, we will. It'll just make it, unfortunately, quite a bit more expensive. I was really hoping to have a pretty competitively priced windscreen, but at the volume that we're talking about, it's just the lens itself was more than I really wanted it to be. So we're working on it. Jeff says, I have Halcyon 250 number 850 ready for her first ride of 2024 tomorrow. Brochure is in the saddlebag. Good for you, Jeff. Just let us know if you need any more. Brent says, Defiance, Ohio, not far away. We should meet up in the spring. Hope to see you all at the Owners Rally in September. Yes, of course. Good little shout out there, Brent. Please mark your calendars. It's on the website. You can pre-order your tickets for the Owners Rally next year. Jeff says, Tom Kimball. Yes, good idea. I'm retired CW04. These are terminologies that I'm not familiar with. May get a custom splitter. Ken Plum's Sentinel Hollow Drab is beautiful and classy. Tux used to see if someone local to you will let you test ride one. There's nothing quite like riding a Halcyon. Fantastic. Devon Lane Power Equipment. Tom Shattuck from Belchertown, Massachusetts. Can I ride 2-up on a 450? Currently a Buell Ulysses owner. Wow, very cool. Very cool indeed. The Buell Ulysses, if I'm not mistaken, is their kind of adventure bike. Is that right? but we built around, of course, being a Buell, a Harley Davidson style V-twin power plant. Very cool bikes. Very cool bikes. But to answer your question, can you ride 2-up? Not at the moment, but that's what I was answering that question on the pillion seat on the 450, at which point it's very, very soon you will be able to. Currently, you can get the rear rack pillion attachment. All we need is the seat, and then as you all have helped me design some of the passenger peg detents and stuff, all that will be able to ship with it. It's all ready to go. Let's see, Jeff, Tom, Ken, what is your rate, Chief? Oh, that must be part of that abbreviation. Tuck says, Ken Plums, I plan on traveling to Goshen to check them out in the fab shop. I am in Greensburg, Indiana. Well, that's not too far away. We got some chatter going back and forth here. Oh, we got Ben Ferrer. Happy New Year. 450 number 43. Nice. Drinking coffee. Pete's Major Dickinson's with coconut creamer. Jeff, Dalwhinnie is one of my faves. Dalwhinnie. Oh, nice. That's the whiskey. Nice Tux. Come visit us. Ken Plum says, as for windshields, I ordered one from Web Bike in Japan. It is perfect for it. Cost less than $100 too. That's probably one of those Asahi canvas ones. We're running one of those on one of the bikes now. They work quite well. And I used it to I improved on it with ours. Let's just say that. Let's see. Got some banter going on here. 63. NW Metalbug called it. Let's see. 63 watching. Very neat. For some reason, my viewer count is turned off. Let's turn it on. See if it shows up. Oh, but the viewer count is blocking the... Trying to manipulate the... Oh. You can see a little bit of text there. Oh, it's probably because I blew up the text size that you can't see all the text. Anyway, boy, a lot of people on. Confed Yank fits a 450. I heard of those fitting perfect on a 250. Kind of a little big for a 250, I would say that. At least if it's the Asahi Japanese one that I'm thinking of. Tom says, Rich, my 12-year-old grandson rides an Indian EFTR electric bike with me, and we ramble through the neighborhood together. He wants to know if there are any smaller Griffins in the works. Smaller Griffins? No, not at the moment. It would be fun to do a smaller, we've joked about doing like a boy racer, small, like moped style bike. That's a good idea, though. That's really neat that you get to ride with him, though. All right. Okay. Sean says, love your bikes. One day I'll own one. Richard, Jeff says, Richard, I have, where does it say that? Richard, I have some plastic road grime on my fishtail. Any idea how to get it off? Goo off, not working. Plastic? Is that what you mean? Like it kind of melted onto it? It's stainless steel, so you could technically burn it off if you wanted to. I mean, you could do basically anything. Don't scratch it. Don't try and mechanically removing it might be a problem. But I would say maybe heat would work. You can plastic. Man, did something melt onto it? I wonder. Try some of those really aggressive, industrial strippers and see if that would get it off. Or heat, because you can always polish it again. Plastic road grime on my fishtail. That kind of stinks. Yeah, I'd have to look and see what the process would be, but it would be the same as any other exhaust, really, except for the fact that you could actually use heat. Ken says, yes, it's the Asahi number 99, but I got the tall windshield, not the short one. Yeah, that's exactly the one I was thinking of. Jeff says, Richard, Tom, I wanted almost 5 years for mine. Well worth the wait. Love my Halcyon. And Scott says there's 3 of us watching. That's awesome. Great. So it's more than 63. Great. Yeah, plastic. Jeff says, torch it. Gasoline bad, lol, when hot. Yes, don't do that. And Dan says he dated an industrial stripper one time. Okay, great. Jeff, Ken said, would the acid you use to clean rust off gas tank work? Might, but you might end up damaging the finish on your. It depends on if it's polished, but even if it's not, you might damage that. I would try some sort of stripper of some kind. So yeah. Anyway, before much more time goes on, I'm going to go ahead and start us off with a good poem. The one that I've been waiting to read. This one. This is one of my favorites, and it's very applicable to today. I try and read this one every year on New Year's. All right. This is by he's more known for his novels than he is for his poetry, but Thomas Hardy wrote some fantastic poetry in addition to the novels that he wrote. This one is called, and this is out of my aged and very dilapidated understanding poetry that I bought new in school and still visit on a regular basis. But The Darkling Thrush is, well, I'll just read it. You can take what you want from it, but I always find it very moving on the first day of the year. It was actually, I think, written. It was written on December 31st, 1900. The turn of the last day of the 19th century. Yep. So not quite as auspicious a day or as significant, but all right. The Darkling Thrush by Thomas Hardy. I leant upon a coppice gate when frost was spectre gray, and winter's dregs made desolate the weakening eye of day. The tangled vine stems scored the sky like strings of broken lyres, and all mankind that haunted nigh had sought their household fires. The land's sharp features seemed to be the century's corpse outlent, his crypt the cloudy canopy, the wind his death lament. The ancient pulse of germ and birth was shrunken, hard and dry, and every spirit upon earth seemed fervorless as I. At once a voice arose among the bleak twigs overhead, in a full-hearted evensong of joy illimited. An aged thrush, frail, gaunt, and small, in blast-beruffled plume, had chosen thus to fling his soul upon the growing gloom. So little cause for carolings of such ecstatic sound was written on terrestrial things afar or nigh around, that I could think there trembled through his happy good-night air some blessed hope whereof he knew, and I was unaware. I love that one. Yeah. Okay. Have a sip of my whiskey. Let's take a look back at the comments. I'm not sure where we're going to get much accomplished here tonight, but look at some more comments here. I don't have a whole lot on my agenda, let's just say. Nicholas Gee says, methylene chloride or acetone. For plastic remover, most likely it is ABS. Yeah, I'd agree with that. Jeff Massey says it's brushed finish, which will it gives you a little more leeway. You can always scuff it up with some Scotch-Brite after the fact if you have to. I do that. That's how I clean. On 68, I have a brushed exhaust, and I clean it with a Scotch-Brite. Jeff Massey, I have lots of experience with Never Dull. Navy, nice. Slap some duct tape on it. Yeah. Halcyon 450 number 218, drinking coffee. Nice. Joel. Oh, it's Joel Yanda. Good to see you. Dan says fervorless. Good word. Yes. Isn't that a good word? Tom Kimball says, and he's an actor. Well done. Oh, good. Thank you. Thank you. Carlman, baking soda paste will get the melted plastic off your exhaust. Put some on and let it sit for 10 minutes. It will loosen the plastic and make it easy to remove. Well, there you go. I like that. Huh. If it works, let us know. I'm curious. All right. What are we going to do now? We're going to read a little bit of the Rambo's Companion, and then I think we'll call it quits. I want to get home. Brent says, are the knobby tires DOT compliant? Yes, they are. Yes, all the tires that we supply for road-going motorcycles are DOT compliant, and they have to be if we're going to sell them. Okay, last time we read about fun number 1 and fun number 2. Now we're going to read about something called Why We Ride. It's a good section, if I say so myself. This is from the most recent draft of the Rambler's Companion, which will be, I hope, coming out soon. It's taking longer than we all expected. I think I was working on it this time last year, so it's taking a while, but that's all right. Good things take time. And we're working on more important things like upgrades and options. All right. Why We Ride. Matthew Crawford, philosopher mechanic, and best known for his book, Shop Class. Let's see if I can find it here. Well, it's on my shelf. Best known for his... Oh, here it is. It's right next to me. Best known for his book, Shop Class as Soulcraft, and most recently author of Why We Drive, Towards a Philosophy of the Open Road. I highly recommend his work. If you're not familiar with either of those two books, Shop Class as Soulcraft, or really, I really enjoyed Why We Drive, which is about driving a car, but also it talks about motorcycling, and it deals with so much. I mean, if you want to understand I'm really trying to channel a lot of his thinking with the and his philosophy with rambling. He totally understands it. So I highly recommend both of those books if you're looking for something really good to read. Anyway, in the beginning of Why We Drive, he describes the experience of riding a dirt bike among the rutted trails and obstacles of an abandoned plot behind a Richmond, Virginia supermarket, not far from where I grew up, actually. Quote, riding a dirt bike on a narrow, meandering trail that is rocky and muddy, with protruding roots and fallen limbs, creek crossings, steep descents, and tight switchbacks, at a mere 15 miles per hour, I might be taxed to the very limit of my mental ability, picking lines, making imperceptible decisions of throttle, clutch, steering, braking, and body English, revising them on the fly as surprises arrive at my front wheel. All this demands total concentration. When I push beyond my current level of confidence in response to some challenge of the terrain, it is a leap of faith. Or perhaps it is a query. I can't say to what entity this question is addressed. Myself? The obscurities of the trail? A loving providence? It is a position of utter exposure to contingency. Let's see how this goes. If it goes well over the following seconds, meaning without mishap, maybe even with a glimmer of some new finesse, this faith redeemed is the sweetest vindication I know of. For a moment, I feel existentially justified. In pursuit of that feeling, I once took 4 trips to the ER over the course of 12 months. 2 broken ribs, a broken heel, what I feared was a separated tendon, it was a muscle strain, and a case of heat exhaustion. What Crawford is pushing at is the reason we ride in the first place. On one hand, health and safety proponents would have us believe that to be ferried to and from our daily activities, to relinquish our accident-prone role as drivers, is the only logical step forward in a world of self-driving cars, virtual interactions, and artificial intelligence. Why would anyone choose to expose themselves to the risk of riding a motorcycle in traffic? I mean, that's a good question. Why would we? On the other hand, motorcycle marketers would have us believe that the specifications and feature set of our motorcycles are what give them value and define our experience. That the faster and more technologically advanced they are, the better. If acceleration is thrilling, why not be able to accelerate faster? If there are electronic rider aids which allow us to ride a quarter-ton motorcycle with more horsepower than the average car, as if we were on the racetrack, doesn't that dictate the features we should look for in a motorcycle? What do you all think? Let's see. Confed Yank. Looks like Richard's internet wants to go home also. Uh-oh. Sorry if y'all are experiencing any lags. Ken says, Richard, was there ever any further consideration on Janus hats and tees that have Janus motorcycles written on them, as if they were the "Welcome to Las Vegas" sign? I don't know. I'm not in charge of designing all the apparel, but I will remind them. I will make a note. One of these days, we'll do a whole episode on catching up on all the notes I've made. Okay. Dan says, 2013 movie called Why We Ride. It's worth watching. Yes, I have watched it. It's kind of like a follow-up to On Any Sunday. I don't know if any of you all have seen that movie. That's a great film made in the 60s or 70s, and it features Steve McQueen and all kinds of cool people in California talking about motorcycles and why they're fun. And it did a lot for the motorcycle industry. And I think the goal with Why We Ride was kind of to reinvigorate that same sensation. Ken Plum's on my way, and I recommend it. On my way to the rally this year, a woman at a gas station stated that most people get the bikes they have, cruisers and rockets alike, to impress others. That is true, I think. And I don't know if it's necessarily bad. It's okay to want a cool thing that impresses people. I think that what you assume impresses people may be different. And maybe different people are impressed by different things. Jeff Massey, Richard, tonight's Why We Ride reminds us we were young and fearless. Nice. Yes. Yes, it's true. And there are ways that we can continue to push those limits even as we grow older. They don't have to be as physical limitations either. And I mean, I'm not getting super old yet, but I've thought about more off-road riding, and I do like riding off-road. I'm not especially good at it, but I've thought about maybe doing some trials riding instead of really off-road, because every time I get off-road, I want to go too fast. And trials riding is more of a technical thing, and you can really learn a lot and push those limits, but not be risking life and limb at the same time. Right. Ken Plum says, my bike stated that I was concerned only with impressing myself. She was right. Yeah, there you go. That's right. Jeff says, we are likely recapturing that youth. At least this Gen Xer is with my Janus. Yes. Grant says, that's a great story, Ken. Yeah. It was at a gas station at the Ohio-Indiana border. Great. I ride a Harley-Davidson with a carb and much lacking of features, and I like it that way. Yep. Tom says, slow your roll. We average 18 to 20 miles per hour rambling together, my grandson and I. But getting out on the open mountain roads, that's another ramble not to be missed. Yes. Jack says, that's great, Tom, that you ride with your grandson. I hope I can experience that someday. That is something to experience, yes. Sirius says, my first ride, 9 years old, Honda C90, cousin's garden, throttle pinned into a barbed wire fence. Over and over till my dad caught up and took my hand off the throttle. Hooked for life. There you go. Great. Going back to visit Lena's garage? I hope so. I'd love to take the 450 back. We're working on it. Put in a good word for us if you run into him. Confed Yank says trials is very technical and physical. It's balancing on a needle. Lol. Yes. But it isn't as physically treacherous as some fast trail riding can be. Sirius says, I have a nice scar on my hand to remind me of that happy day of your first day riding. That's great. That's fantastic. All right. Well, hey, folks, looks like we got 60 people on right now. I think let's post up any questions you have, especially if you're new to the stream. I think I'm going to call it an evening and get home here. And I wish you all a Merry New Year, Merry Christmas, and a Happy New Year. it's been good hanging out, and we have a lot of exciting things planned for this year. Lots of interesting things will be happening here at Janus. So keep your eyes on the social medias, the website. We will be announcing lots of fun stuff. So thank you all very much for spending 45 minutes of your new year with me. It's so good to see you all, to be able to share some time with you all on a weekly basis. I look forward to doing this a lot more in the new year. We're going to try and mix up the format here. I hope to try and do some new things. I don't know if we can somehow manage to do some live call-ins or video. Maybe we could do like a video chat. I don't know. It would be very interesting to explore some of those options, though. So good to see you all. Happy Janus month, and I will catch you on the next Ramblestream, number 25, which should be next Monday, unless I've forgotten another holiday. So there you go. Catch y'all later. Bye-bye.